Greetings, friends! Another morning, another day where we're off to the races, full of activity. So just got the chickens moved, as you just saw, and now we just got a load of gravel that I'm gonna need to move around. So Lacie is operating the skid steer and bringing me a few piles over here to work with, and here she comes with another one. So I'm trying to add gravel in various areas to cut down on weed pressure and to make walking a little bit easier. Like right here in between my raised beds here that we just built alongside the greenhouse. Actually, I built that one last year, and then that one on down there I built, as you probably saw, just recently. So gravel that walkway, make it easy, because there's also some water that's settling here. And who wants to walk in that? So put some gravel down, help that. Maybe that water will flow a little bit better. We have our tarp down here. It does suppress the weeds, but also like to use the gravel too, just makes the walk area so much better. And I think this will be the last load that I'm just gonna bring. Let's go. Thanks. So I'm not going to be working on that right away. Maybe the kids will be open to doing it, putting it in their little dump trucks and carting it on in here, but we'll see. But today we got to get these transplanted. Now that it looks like there shouldn't be any more frost, no more freezing temperatures. Hopefully, praying we don't have that anymore. We need to get some things transplanted. We got more peppers we need to transplant here, as well as I have extra cucumbers, backup ones actually, as well as watermelons and different things like that right here that we need to get moving on. Well, we got to get some beds areas ready for them and start putting them in the ground. Oh, Micah's king of the mountain. He's king of the mountain. Hey guys, would you do me a favor and go ahead and start carting some of this gravel here and put it in our walkways in between the greenhouse and the raised bed. You can use your dump trucks and things like that and just have fun shoveling around them. How's that sound? Does that sound like fun? Yeah. What do you think? You got part of a dump truck there. Where's the rest of it?
It's broken.
Oh, Micah have one that's intact?
Yeah.
Here comes Micah. Here he comes. Get it. Also, while these temperatures are up and back to normal, I need to go ahead and roll these sides up again. All right, Mike, I want to see you put a load in here with your dump truck. There's a dump there. Good dump you got there, buddy. So we've been incubating some duck eggs, and so far we've only gotten one ducklings as we've been running this incubator, and this duckling has just been hanging out in the brooder by itself, and I ended up having to put a chick in there with it just to give it some company because it was just feeling too alone. But this morning we started having some action going on in here in the incubator. Okay, hear that? Not sure if you can see it or not. Let's try to hold it in the light a little bit better. Not too much light. Hear it? You can hear that sound. I can feel it. It's trying to do something in there. There you go. Now you can see it, I think. See that little movement there? Right there. And we're just going to put it right back in, and hopefully it'll be out soon and be joining the other one that is in the brooder. All right, so during the frost that we had, well actually the freeze that we had for 2 days, we were able to keep our tomatoes alive, our cucumbers alive, and you know what? Even our squash has come back. But we were not able to keep our pepper plants, and as you can see here, it's dead. So, I'm gonna get rid of that. But thankfully we had extra starts that we did, and we're gonna just replace those with the starts that I have. And then after that, we're gonna get down there and start getting that bed down there, prepared to get some stuff growing in it. Something besides unwanted plants, as you can see down there. Actually, looking at some of these a little bit closer, it is some green on here, and it looks like life. So I'm thinking it may sprout again and may shoot off some leaves. So I'm gonna be patient. Patience is good, even though it's hard sometimes. And just see what happens. Maybe these will come back. There's a couple that look like they're just shot, but a couple of them look like they might come back. So when we were having that night of the freezing temperatures, Lacie and I were doing what we could to keep all the other ones alive, the main ones at the high tunnel there with the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the squash, and we weren't able to come down here and watch these and water these and keeping them from freezing. So, and we kind of knew that as we were doing it, we just weren't able to. But it'd be great and fantastic if they come back. We'll see. We'll see. So as we're exercising patience and seeing if those pepper plants come back and grow leaves and grow and produce food, if I tell you, exercising patience, that is an exercise in itself, a spiritual exercise. I don't know about you, but patience is something that can be a challenge for me sometimes, but something we all have to grow in, especially if we want to have good upright character. We need to have patience as a part of a list of good qualities of our character, especially exercising patience on others to grow. Yeah, we do have to do that too. We have to make sure that we're patient with others as they grow, hoping that others are patient with us as we grow. Well, anyways. Well, next, what I'm gonna do, since we do have those pepper plants, is I'm gonna prep these 3 beds here. It's 25-foot row beds that we need to kind of sort out, get prepped. And I'm gonna plant the peppers down here on this end. And I think I'm gonna be planting, since we have a number of watermelon plants right here, and then they can grow on this landscape fabric, and that way the weeds and things won't grow up all around our watermelons that we plan to harvest. So let's get this cleaned up.
Hey Daddy, wanna see what we've done?
Sure, this is a good time for me to check on your work. You think you're finished?
Yep.
Good job, guys. Let's see what you got. Ooh, look at there, guys. Nice. That looks excellent. Way to go, fellas. Good job. So you went all the way to the goal that I set for you. I did set a goal, so I didn't expect you to do all the way down this time. But fantastic. I said stop about right here, and you did. And now we have this nice walkway to walk in. Good job. All right, well, go ahead and finish up with your other chores and then your schoolwork, and I'm gonna go back and work in the garden. All right, so as I was working here, I noticed something that I wanted to show you guys. Check out the soil right here in this area. You see how dark it looks and it's pretty loose. Better than over here, which is lighter, dustier. Well, why the difference? Generally, we will use the black woven landscape fabric. We'll put holes in it and we'll plant our plants in those holes. And that landscape fabric helps to suppress the weeds around the plants as well as to help the moisture stay in the ground. And then other times like if we're growing root crops or something like that, which I think we were growing here in this bed here, we don't use the landscape fabric, and sometimes the dirt is exposed, especially if we're growing root crops like radishes or beets, and then we're cycling those out. So the soil tends to dry out a little bit more. But here we had eggplants here, and instead of using the black woven landscape fabric, I used a really heavy leaf mulch, and it suppresses the weeds a lot, helps maintain the moisture in the soil. But also with the landscape fabric, I'll pull it away, and then it's not leaving anything. It's not really giving back to the soil outside of just leaving the moisture in there and making it a good environment for the microorganisms and earthworms and things like that to live in. But the leaf compost, it leaves this behind. It leaves organic matter behind, which the landscape fabric does not do. So just something to point out there. I do recommend the black woven landscape fabric. It helps us a lot, especially with growing crops like our lettuces. It helps us to have a really nice clean crop. But for growing things longer term, as I'm trying to get away from using the landscape fabric so much, as we're getting our weeds under control at the same time, I am trying to go with more organic matter, like our leaf compost here. And it's making a difference. As you can tell here, this is just one example. So really good. Something to keep in mind. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me show you another area where we did both. We used good compost with some leaf compost as well as the black woven landscape fabric. And we did this around our okra plant that we had growing up here. And you can see this is pretty loose right here. So that black landscape fabric helped to keep the moisture in, and the compost added some good organic matter. We didn't do a heavy leaf compost here. We just did mostly a light layer of the compost, which is already broken down to leaf compost, but we did a heavy compost in here, and you can see it really makes a difference. So those are some of the things to think about as you're working with your soil. I'm not saying you have to do it perfectly one way or the other, but just as you're working with the land, thinking about giving back to it, it really makes a difference, because our relationship with the earth and the things around us should be a give-give relationship, not a give-take and not a take. Sometimes, far too often, we look at farming, agriculture, homesteading, we look at it in terms of what we can get out of it strictly, and then thinking about it in what is the least amount that we can give to the land, when we really need to be thinking about it deeper. We really want to give what we can, and even more, to make things abundant life for the soil, abundant life for the animals and plants, and abundant life for everything. So that's kind of a concept I just keep thinking on. The way of give. The way of give. Alrighty, so squash here, cucumbers have a little bit of too much water in there, so we're gonna pour that out. Sometimes if you see your leaves yellowing like that, it can be an indicator of too much water. But here is our watermelon. Speaking of water. Quickest shovel I could find was one of the shovels that Mike and Josiah were using when they were shoveling the gravel. So I'm getting some sand for our watermelon plants, because it says watermelon likes sandier, loamier soil. So watermelon plants can be planted 3 to 5 feet apart. I like to maximize it and see how close we can get things. We're gonna go with the closer to 3. So this bed's 25 feet in length. So we should be able to get about the 8 plants in here. 7, depending on how close my measurement is. So I'm just gonna make my hole right here. You can see our soil's not that bad. It's not super clay, which is good. Trying to work on that. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit of sand in there. I'm just gonna mix it out, soften up the dirt. We're gonna pop out our watermelon plants right here. So I must say, I'm not an expert at growing watermelon at all. I'm not even an expert on eating it. I just now recently just started liking to eat watermelon, to be honest with you. But especially when we were at the Heirloom Expo, National Heirloom Expo, from Baker Creek, was one of the main sponsors for that event. And we absolutely love the number of the watermelons that they had there. Watermelons, all kind of watermelons. All right, so we'll put this watermelon plant right in there just like that now. And cover that little thing up just like that. Alrighty. Alright. I'm also gonna put just a little bit of leaf compost in. Just right over top of there, just to help keep some moisture in, since it gets pretty dry and humid here. Watermelon doesn't like to be too saturated from what I hear, but just give it a little bit. Continue to add to the soil fertility, just to continue to practice the way you give.
Daddy.
Yeah.
We got a new camera, 3 new lenses, and a new mic.
You getting rid of me?
No!
You're getting another mic?
No!
How dare you?
We got another mic!
We just had a new camera that we just recently ordered, and I saw the UPS truck, so I'm assuming that was what the delivery was, right?
Yep.
Alright, so let me get these planted and we'll go inside and check out our new camera. I can't believe you're gonna get rid of me.
And a micro SD card.
Who does that get rid of, Sailor? SD Dixon? Get rid of Sailor now.
A micro Sailor Dixon card.
Getting rid of Sailor. Get rid of Mike and Sailor. Oh no.
Don't worry, we didn't get an
You hear that, America? He's trying to get rid of me and Sailor here on this vlog. Wow. Say America, but everybody else watching too. Wherever you're from and you're watching, let us know in the comment section below. Alrighty, so I hear the camera came. Got a new camera.
Yeah, we sure did.
Heard you got a new mic too. You're getting rid of me for a new mic.
Not that kind of mic.
But you also got his SD.
Let's see. So let's see the camera. So let's see what we got.
Okay. Okay. So we got a new 80D camera body. And we got the 18 to 55 kit lens, and also a 55 to 250 lens too. And also a few other things. We got a monopod, we have some SD cards, we have a really big 420 to 800 millimeter telephoto zoom lens.
Pretty cool.
So this will be fun to play around with. And
Here's our new mic.
Got a new mic.
new mic. We'll see how good this one is.
He hasn't even been opened.
We're constantly looking at ways that we can improve and the things that we do in our videos and sharing with you guys. Always looking to grow. I constantly say grow on, so we're trying to grow in our video quality and production as well. So this new camera here should help us to do that with that upgrade, and upgrading from the one that I have in my hand. I'll still plan to use this one, but that one probably will be the main one going forward. So super
It'd be nice having
excited
two
about that.
cameras too.
Yeah, so excited about the new cam. I was also pretty excited about the duck you made recently. That was good.
Are you just telling everybody what you're excited about?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I was excited about the soil out there. I'm excited about the camera and excited about the duck we just had. And
You're just brimming with excitement.
yeah. And you're gonna make some bone broth from those ducks that we just had.
Yep.
So super excited about that too.
Okay.
Bone broth is good.
Calm down a little bit.
Well, I am not super familiar with how to make bone broth, even though I love it and you've been doing it a couple of times. So you actually have a way of doing it with the Instapot. You mind showing everybody how to do that?
I guess I don't, since that's what you're asking me to do.
Put her on the spot. Watch out. Well, I continued today working on my hillside garden. And I must say, it's coming along. It's not where I want it to be yet, but it's coming along. We got peppers transplanted in there, some eggplant, and some watermelon. And we also had another duckling that hatched in our second incubator. And that's especially exciting because of all the eggs that we lost last week in the first incubator. And lastly, Lacie made the bone broth. Yummy.